Hey, digital media art students. In this video, we're going to do part 3 of the tape dispenser. So we're going to go ahead and go from vertical now and horizontal and then add some depth to this thing. So we measured the tape dispenser in class, and we said that the hole was about 4 units wide and about 8. The entire thing is about 8 units and 8 centimeters, and the hole is about 4 centimeters. So that's kind of our baseline for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the top view here. So I'm going to hold space, left click, go to our top view here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that all these things are in one line or one plane. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, go to vertex mode here. I'm going to left click check all of these. I'm going to turn off symmetry for now, just so that I can work on one side. And I'm going to use the scale tool and scale inward to guarantee that everything here is coplanar. Same thing here, check all of these, scale inward. You can see that nothing moved, so that means that this is pretty good to go. Once you got guaranteed that all these points are all on one flat surface, that's what we call coplanar, we're going to turn on snap to grid, and we're going to move it to 4 units down. So we're at 1 right now. Here's 2, 3, 4. That's 4 units wide that direction. We're going to left click drag all of these. Make sure your camera base selection is off so you can select all the points top to bottom here. And then again, with snap to grid on, we're going to go ahead and snap it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we have a 8 unit wide model. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a little bit of a bevel here because there is a little bit of bevel. So I'm going to go ahead and left click, go to face mode here. And I think I don't need this anymore, so I'm just going to hit space so we can enlarge here. And I'm going to click on these edge loops. So I'm going to left click here, shift double left click that face loop, then shift left click, shift select that one, then shift double left click that one. And this time I do want to turn on symmetry, so I'm going to turn on object Z here. So I got both sides, and I'm just going to extrude it a little bit here. I think that's it. Yes, I'm going to extrude it just a hair. So I'm going to hit R, because I want to scale in both directions. I'm going to hit R. R. Actually, I'm going to hit W. Let's go W. So I'm going to hit W. I'm going to shift and scale and extrude outward. So shift, left click, drag. Up. I need to turn off my snap to grid here. Shift, left click, and extrude out a little bit. And did that create a little bevel? It looks like no. Let me try it again. So I have both sides selected. I'm going to hit shift, left click, extrude. That did not work. Okay. That's odd. So let's go ahead and turn off object. Turn off object here. Yeah, object Z. Yeah, I had to turn off object Z. And now I can extrude in both directions. And when I want to extrude in both directions without symmetry on, go ahead and hit R, and now we can scale in both directions. We're going to go ahead and hit shift, and we're going to extrude outward. So there we have that little bevel that we wanted. Okay, and make sure that we didn't just break our geometry in any way. And that looks good to go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and create the hole. And we decided that we're going to use 6 of these faces going down and 6 of the faces going the other way to create the hole. So again, we're going to go to face mode. I'm going to hit Q to make our selection easier here. And we're just going to select the 6 faces going down and 6 faces going that way. And now we're going to go ahead and extrude downward. We're going to hold, I would hit W. I'm going to hold shift and we're going to extrude downward. Now you can see here that it kind of crisscrosses, which is why the faces are black. So actually before we extrude, let's go ahead and do a quick scale. And we're going to scale inward so that it's nice and about 50%. Like we said, it's about 4 units wide. And again, the numbers aren't exact, but it's about half 4 units compared to 8 units here. And now let's go ahead and hit W and extrude downward. Now, if you look inside the tape dispenser, the surface on the bottom is not curved like this. So if I go to wireframe view, you can see that the surface it's still nice and curved like the top is. But what we want to do is turn this into a flat and coplanar surface. Now, if I hit R and try to scale inward, the problem is that makes it perfectly horizontal. And if I hit the scale this way, I'll make it perfectly vertical. That's not what I want. Instead, what I want is to have it kind of take the average slope of this curve. So what we're going to do is show you guys how to move the pivot. So I'm going to turn off my reference plane for a minute, just get that out of the way so you guys can see a little bit better. And I'm going to turn back on my solid shade here. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on those faces. So again, we're going to be on face mode. Okay, but we're going to move the pivot. So to adjust the pivot, we're going to use the hotkey D, and we're going to turn on snap to point, and we're going to move the pivot that controls how things move. So I'm going to go ahead and click on D. You see that once I hit D, the widget looks a little bit different, and now it will snap to points. So you can see here it's snapping, and I'm going to snap it to the center point of these 12 faces right there. And now I'm going to use my scale tool, and it looks like nothing's different besides where the widget is located. It's located in that location now. But if I go to my toolbox, you can either adjust it here under scale settings. I can change it from world to component. You can see that it uses the normal of that face. So you can see here that it's basically perpendicular to that point. That's the red one. And now if I scale, I'm going to go into wireframe view right here. If I scale now using the red axes, it's going to basically make it flat to the perpendicular plane of this point. So I'm going to grab it here and look, bam, perfectly straight. Okay, so that creates the hole. Let's go ahead and go back to our solid view here. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a bevel. So we're going to give it a bevel because right now if you look at all these edges right here, they're very, very, very sharp going all the way across. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a slight bevel. Actually, before we do that, let's do this first. So what we want to do now is add the teeth to our model here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cover that in the next video so that you guys can at least get to this point. I'll see you guys in the next video.